just in general, I think we're hoping to get better advantages out of our offensive actions and sort of the plays that come after the initial action. I think that's something that we'll focus on. So I think that will hopefully help Uchenna, but I think it'll hopefully help everyone. Right? I think we just need to generate higher quality shots, and we like I think like you said, or like people have noticed, we were able to do it in stretches. We can obviously be a very impressive basketball team, but I think we need to keep it consistent for 40 minutes over our next 4 games.
The Nairobi City Thunder, they lost this game against Alahli Tripoli. So this is the third game of the Nile Conference, and the Thunder put up a disappointing act. And they just proved to us that they are the most overrated team in basketball. And I must say, this was a very, very hard game to watch, because this game, they got beat by 28 points. At some point, the game was at a 30-point spread, but the fake comeback that the Thunder staged late in the game could not cut it. And it's funny that in the last final minute of the fourth quarter in regulation, that's when their shots were going in, and it was very unfortunate and pathetic. And in this one, I'm going to go by the numbers and talk about what these players and the teams did statistically and what we can expect from the Thunder moving forward. So, John Jackie's Boise was the headliner on this one. I mean, he had a quiet starting of the game, but he finished this game with 30 points, and the man was just knocking down them threes. And the most interesting stat that I saw was Alahli Tripoli's ability to knock down the three ball. I can say they were able to easily knock down the three ball because of the poor defense that the Nairobi City Thunder had. The perimeter defense for the Thunder was piss poor. So both teams shot at a 44% clip from the field, but on 2-point field goals, that's where Alahli Tripoli, that's where they were good, because they shot 52% from the field. And from downtown, you could see, even with the Nairobi City Thunder having a high shooting percentage from downtown, the 23s made by the Alahli Tripoli was the difference. And from the line, the Alahli Tripoli, they made 17 out of the 19 free throws. There was no point the Alahli Tripoli were missing any of their shots at the charity stripe. But this game was an utter domination, because it saw Alahli Tripoli lead in rebounds, 50 total rebounds, 26 total assists, 12 steals, 5 blocks, and they had recorded 11 turnovers. They had a game low 11 turnovers as opposed to the Nairobi City Thunder's 18. So the Thunder are one of those teams that are overrated, and their lack of chemistry is evident in this one. I know they didn't have a lot of time to rest so that they can be able to prepare for this one, but you could see their body language all the way from tip-off. They didn't look like they wanted to be there, and they were so sluggish when they started. So you see padded like 6 points in 8 points in garbage time, because this game was already decided in the fourth, and he padded like 8 points. He had a dunk and 2 3-pointers back to back. And also Evans Ganapamo padded his points in garbage time when the game was already decided. So I took great, I didn't like that at all, because where was that 3-point shot when we needed it? When we needed a run, this guy was non-existent. Eugene Adair, he had 14. Tyler Ongwa, he had 10. Then we had Cheick Bakdong. He had 9 boards for the Nairobi City Thunder. I mean, it was just a pathetic performance all around. UC tried facilitating with his seven assists, but the main story of the game was John Jackie's Boise's ability to be able to drop 25 plus points back to back. So yesterday he dropped 25 points on MBB, and today he topped that when he dropped 30 points on the Nairobi City Thunder, and it was so pathetic. And in this one, this game was bad because there were 3 players who recorded 20 plus points for the Alahli Tripoli side, and it's unfortunate that our defense for the Nairobi City Thunder is very sad and questionable, because we saw Dion Thompson from Alahli Tripoli drop 21 points, Jalen Adams 26, and John Jackie's Boise is 30. Dion Thompson had a strong double-double of his own of 21 points and 14 boards, something that, I mean, it was sad. And Jalen Adams, not only was he second in points, but he was first in assists with 8 assists. So that was an utter domination by the Alahli Tripoli side, and an utter capitulation performance coming from the Nairobi City Thunder. And these people, have placed them on fraud watch because They have shown that they lack what it takes to compete at this level. They hoodwinked the masses. They lied to Kenyans. They tried to show Kenyans that they are good in basketball, but when it mattered, their failed signings, their failed uh, acquisitions, wet the bed in this one, and it was so pathetic. And the Thunder, they were so pathetic to the point where they trailed in rebounds, assists, steals, points from turnovers, fast break points, second chance points, bench points. It was overall pathetic because even when it comes to rebounds, we are out rebounded with 50 rebounds, 26 assists for Alahli Tripoli. We had the Alahli Tripoli. We had the lowest steals. We only had 3 steals as opposed to Alahli Tripoli's 12. We had 20. We had only 9 points from turnovers as opposed to Alahli Tripoli's 28. Alahli Tripoli had 23 fast break points and 21 second chance points. And their bench mob was the best. And from the bench, the Alahli Tripoli had 41 points from the bench. So it tells you everything that you need to know about this Nairobi City Thunder squad. This is a squad that is very pathetic. They have nothing going on for them. And it's very sad. All the way from the imports. Evans Ganapamo, he pulled off a disappearing act in this one with his fake comeback at the end. You could see he was 3 of 7 from downtown. At least he had 9 points as opposed to the previous game where he was 0 for 17 with 0 points, and the only point that he made was from the free throw line. So it was very pathetic. This game, he didn't even draw any fouls and go to the line. So the major and the most concerning thing was even the big guys, our big man, did not even foul or even get to the line. Tyler Ongwa didn't even shoot a free throw. I mean, Will Davis didn't shoot a free throw. Evans Ganapamo, no free throw. I mean, it was so pathetic. And you could even see all the way from even our body language. It was sad. Evans Ganapamo in 14 minutes of play, 9 points, 3 of 8 shooting from the field. And other pathetic performance. I mean, I don't know how much money the Thunder are paying for this guy, but he is not worth any, even this, to the last cent, he's not worth it. The man is a flop all the way from the way he played for Bangui, and he's a flop and a loser. And I don't think he's somebody that you can rely on down the stretch for even as the cornerstone to even your offense. Then you had UC actually padded 2 3-pointers at the late in the game and a dunk, that one dunk of the game. I must say those points came in very late. And in 22 minutes of play, he tried, but it was not enough to help even the Thunder do anything. The man had 5 turnovers and 7 assists. So his assist to turnover ratio, still the worst. And he's the one who leads the Nairobi City Thunder in turnovers, because in the game against, the first game against APR, he got 5 turnovers. And in this one, he still had 5 turnovers in there. So it was sad. Also, Eugene, he had a turnover bag of like 3 turnovers there. Then 2 turnovers apiece for Taylor Ongwai and Mbake Diong. So it was sad. And it was just a pathetic performance all around. And also Alberto Dero had 2 turnovers. So very poor indeed. Will Davis, the whole game plan was to load up on Will Davis. Even that's what the opposing teams did. And they did a very good job at that. And it goes to show you how predictable our offense was. So in 20 minutes of play, Will Davis had 4 points. He was 2 of 5 from the field, 2 of 4 from 2-point field goals. He attended a 3, but he missed it. Only 3 boards for somebody who's damn near like 6'9", 7 feet. Nothing. No productivity whatsoever. Very pathetic indeed. Tyler Ongwai, with his heavy minutes of play, he only had 10 points. He played a total of 32 minutes or thereabout. 10 points, 4 of 8 shooting from the field, 2 of 5 from downtown. I mean, just still pathetic. 5 boards, 2 assists, 2 turnovers, 1 steals, a plus minus from minus 31. So Tyler Ongwa in this game was the worst player for the Thunder. He had a minus 31. Then we had Will Davis following him with a minus 25. Then a minus 23 from Alberto Dero. Then UC had a minus 19. So you could see the inefficiency of these players was just through the roof. Then Cheick Mbake Diong, I mean, he did virtually nothing in this one. 22 minutes of play, 8 points, 4 of 7 shooting from the field, 4 of 6 from 2-point field goals, virtually nothing. I mean, the only positive thing that came from this guy was the rebounds, and that's it. And yeah, I mean, just overall pathetic. Then even going to the bench, we have seen the guy that was brought in from the NBA Academy getting more minutes with less production and less productivity. He had 6 points on 1 of 5 shooting from the field. He was 4 of 6 from the free throw line. I mean, the man was just useless with the 6 rebounds. Did virtually nothing on the offensive side. But on the defensive side, he only had only 1 block he recorded. I mean, this game, only 2 blocks were recorded from UC and this guy, from Johan Kabongo. So very sad indeed. So we saw an uptick in minutes for Kennedy Washira. He played 9 minutes, 36 seconds, only 3 points, 1 of 4. Only made 1 3-pointer, similar to what we saw in the previous game that he did. Then Garang Ding, 27 minutes of play, 8 points, 3 of 11. Another, it was just sad. I mean, you can just see these guys are just going outside. Eugene Adera, 14 points, 6 of 8. He played damn near like 18 minutes, 14 points, 6 of 8 shooting, 6 of 7 on 2-point field goals. He attempted at 3, couldn't make it, on 2 of 2 from the line. He had 5 assists, 4 rebounds, 3 turnovers. Man, it was just an overall sad game to watch. And Albert Odero in damn near like 18 minutes of play, 7 points, 3 of 8. It's a plus minus of minus 23, very inefficient. There's no efficiency coming from this Thunder team. And even if you look at like even the positives of this, you can't see any. And it just goes to show you how poor the management was, especially the front office for the Nairobi City Thunder when it came to signing players who are quality. You have seen quality players getting signed by the BAL teams. But if you look at the Nairobi City Thunder, no quality whatsoever, even coming from the imports. No quality coming in from even the local best players who we rely on, especially down the stretches of these games. So it was overall a pathetic performance all around, and I really was cringing and I was very uncomfortable. Immediately after the game, I even went ahead and recorded a video, which is about 10 plus minutes, and I put it on Instagram. Make sure go check it out. I was just speaking to like the instant reactions of after watching that game, and it was very pathetic. And I even placed the Nairobi City Thunder on fraud watch because of how pathetic and piss poor they were performance wise. I don't like the way they played. I don't like the way they went about, on both on offense and defense. Basic basketball principles were non-existent. I mean, there's a certain point in the game I felt like their basketball IQ was offline and nobody knew what they were supposed to do. We have point guards who are turnover machines. We don't have people who can be able to even cut deficits for us. Even when it comes down to even shooting the 3-ball efficiently, even reliable and efficient shooting and shot selection was non-existent. And it's something that is going to hurt the team moving forward. And all this embarrassment was witnessed by 3,225 fans in the BK Arena. Even I feel for the guys who went to those watch parties and even the Kenyans who live in Rwanda who went and watched those games. I must say it was an embarrassing and piss poor performance all the way from yesterday till today. I've talked about yesterday's game extensively against APR in a previous video. And in this one, it's just rinse and repeat the same thing. Even I call to question Brad Ibb's status as the coach. I mean, the fact that the Thunder's front office are willing to go ahead and tweak their roster so much so that even forget to even tweak their coaching staff and technical bench, therein lays the problem, because Brad Ibbs is presented with this roster and he's not even a coach that can be able to figure out his best team, can't even figure out his best lineup, doesn't have any ideology on offense. His philosophy is put in question. Even he's rivaling the inefficiencies of one Coach Cliff, somebody I've talked about in this channel most of the time, especially when I'm talking about the national team. But this is at the club level. You're seeing in the top flight, the Nairobi City Thunder are failing. And even as per recording of this video, I'm watching the MBB versus APR. You can see MBB are fighting APR, something that the Thunder couldn't do. And you could see there's a lot of talent and quality deficit coming from this Nairobi City Thunder roster. And a lot of questions need to be asked, especially when it comes to recruitment of players, player development, because I've seen the Nairobi City Thunder are just going ahead and just signing players, and they're not even doing background checks on these players. What does Evans Ganapamo, what has he done prior to warrant him being added to this now? Yes, I gave them benefit of the doubt. Maybe I thought that he could be somebody who could do something, but unfortunately, I thought wrong, and he has produced a dud. I mean, this guy he's lighting up at the final minute of the game. That's when the 3-point shot is being established. Very poor and pathetic indeed. I mean, the whole team needs to be reassessed. It needs to be, audited. All these players, man, need to be audited. What is their role? What do they actually do? What is their basketball IQ? Because that's something that is very non-existent. And that's the reason as to why somebody like Okal Karanga can't play. You see, like, this is a guy that, you can't rely on. David Etiang hasn't played. Paul Ereng hasn't played anything. So we had 3 DNPs in this one. So even begs the question, what is the point of signing all these players if they're not even going to suit up? But on the flip side, when you look at the Alahli Tripoli side, you'll see Jalen Adams. He was just having a field day on the Nairobi City Thunder. In 30 minutes of play, he had 26 points on 8 of 13 shooting, 61% shooting from the field. He was 5 of 10 from downtown. That's 50%. 5 of 5 from the line. The man was not missing anything. He had 8 assists, 3 rebounds, 3 steals, 3 turnovers, plus minus or plus 49. Somebody who is so reliable down the stretch for that Alahli Tripoli, to the point where he was just doing everything that he wanted to do. Then Janjaki's Boise, this man was just an absolute beast. I mean, he was knocking down the three-pointers, even at an inefficient clip. He attempted 16 of them, but 6 of them went in only. But you could see top-tier talent. Even with his 30 points, even when he came down to down the stretch, you need a shot. He was the one who got the team going. And he had 3 assists, 3 steals, 1 assist, 4 rebounds. Overall, top performer. He's building up on the game that he had. And even looking at also Mohamed Sadi, another guy who I was monitoring, he has been balling out for Libya. And right now, he's balling out for his home club. And in 37 minutes of play, 20 points, 8 of 15. He was 4 of 7 from downtown. Somebody who is so reliable and so efficient at that position that he plays. Dion Thompson, 30 minutes of play, 21 points, 8 of 13, 61%. Look, strong double-double. 21 points, 14 boards, 7 assists. He was 3 assists shy from dropping a triple-double in the Nairobi City Thunder. And the Alahli Tripoli were running on all cylinders. Even with a couple of guys not being able to even play. We had 2 DNPs on there, but we had some players just getting some few touches because the game was already decided and they got brought in. But unfortunately for the Thunder, this game was the worst because this was the highest points tally by a BAL team in BAL history, set by Alahli Tripoli, something that was done on the Thunder. On the Thunder's watch, this actually happened. So it begs the question, is the Thunder team top quality, or are they just as useless as they get? Because are they as useless and overrated as they get? Because if you look at the whole coaching staff, it was all wrong. They lied to Kenyans. They lied to us that they are ready. They said that, if one player doesn't get it going, another player can be able to get it going. But it was unfortunate that they went ahead and lied to us that they have what it takes to go ahead. And in this game, even when it started, Alahli Tripoli had a 10-0 run to start the game. You could see how the Nairobi City Thunder was sluggish. And there was no quarter that the Nairobi City Thunder showed any dominance. Even late in the game, in the fourth, yes, they had a quarter-high 34 points, but it was they parted their points in garbage time. And the Alahli Tripoli had a quarter-high 34 points, and there's no quarter that they scored 24 points or less. All of them were 24 points and above. The first quarter was 24, 29 for the second, 28 for the third, and 34 at the fourth. But if you look at the Thunder, offensive productivity non-existent, pathetic performance all around, and right now we're in a 0-for-2 hole, and it makes it difficult for us to be able to even move forward, because right now Alahli Tripoli are sitting pretty with a 2-0 record, and if they continue like this at this rate, there's a high likelihood that they can be able to clinch the first spot, because when it comes to the point differential, that they're top because they scored 115 points. And the game that they played Yesterday they had 87 points. So in the point tally, they are great. And even as we speak, the Nairobi City Thunder, even despite the loss, at least they fixed their point differential there despite the loss. They had 87 points in this game. So the biggest problem is their matchup against MBB, because right now as we speak, their APR game is going on, and MBB are holding serve pretty well against APR. I mean, it is so unfortunate that the Thunder had their shot at APR and they looked their weakest. I can even say in BAL games so far, the Nairobi City Thunder are the weakest team in BAL season 5. They are the worst team. I can say they are not they are going hand in hand with Stade Malien, but at least Stade Malien did something. But if you look at the way the Thunder look, they're just piss poor and pathetic, and there's nothing good about the Thunder right now. Their stock is falling at the minute. Every single minute, the stock is falling. They're not looking at scary. Their padded record of their unbeaten status that is so poor that they try to use it as a marketing strategy to show that they're the best team is backfiring on them brutally. And they are learning quickly that these are not teams that you just mess around with. These are not teams that you can try to out-talent. Talonga was trying to go in there, ramble, but he can't. At some point, there was a point where the ball got hit and he fell and went to the ground. I mean, he's not the 2021 Talaongwa. He's 2025 Talaongwa, 4 years older. The window is closing very fast from these players. And it's high time the Thunder try to think about and reassess what their strategy is moving forward, because their captain is not leading by example. Actually, the captain, Talaongwe, has been very poor. I mean, he's not a player that you can actually rely on to lead this team. There's zero chemistry. I mean, this team was hurriedly constructed late, and you could see there was a lack of chemistry. There's a lack of unity. Players are playing your turn, my turn basketball. There's no help. No one is setting screens for the other. No one is playing for the other person. No player in this squad is playing for the other. And that's the main difference. As the difference between us and Alahli Tripoli and APR is the fact that APR and Alahli Tripoli understand it's team basketball. They play for each other. They swing the ball. They make sure to find the best shot. They know each other very well. And when you look at even the Thunder, it's pathetic. Nobody knows what they're supposed to do. They are sluggish. They're moving very slow. The coach has no ability to even coach this team in any success whatsoever. I mean, Sheila Rose is failing. Matthew Binder, the guy that I brought in, is failing. I mean, Brad Aves is failing as well. I mean, he's rivaling Coach Cliff in terms of low IQ plays being designed. No lack of utilization of good personnel. It's all imploding, and it's imploding at the biggest stage in African basketball. So, where does the Thunder go from here? Because it's 0-2, 4 games left, and there's no guarantees that they can be able to win 3 games, because they need to win at least 3 games. There's no miracles being pulled here, because the APR team in Alahli Tripoli have already figured out how to beat the Thunder. So even the next go around is going to be easy pickings for them. And knowing for a fact that the number 1 and 2 spots, they are locked, and there's a high likelihood that Alahli Tripoli and APR are going to run away with it. Will the Thunder be able to clinch the 3rd place spot? Something that is very difficult. So I can quickly rule out the 5-1 record. So that's gone. So the only records we have is 3-3 and 4-2. Something that is going to be very difficult for the Thunder. So it is what it is. So do drop me your comments down in the comment section what you think about this. I must say, this is a very piss poor performance. I mean, the video that I even released earlier today talking about APR versus the Thunder was a long one, which I unloaded. And if you look at that video and you watch this one, it's no different what I said, because it's the same thing. These players, these imports are playing for the money. They don't care about the Thunder's identity. They are choking us, and they are ruining it for everyone in the Thunder. I mean, the imports are playing poorly to the point where even question why was it? What was the need? What was the urgency of signing these players? Was it because they are big name people? Is it because you want to look like you have signed imports? Because these imports are doing nothing. Somebody like Evans Ganapamo is useless, done nothing for us. The the guy that was brought in by NBA Africa Academy to ruin the team chemistry was useless. I mean, we're not having any good productivity even from Will Davis. I mean, I tried to give this guy the benefit of the doubt, but he had a dud game of 4 points. Poor performance all round. For the minutes that Elongwa is playing, he's looking poor. He's piss poor with 10 points. He's playing damn near 32 minutes, damn near like the whole game, and can do virtually nothing for you. So what does that tell you? It tells you that this team was not prepared. They don't understand how BAL works, and they're learning the hard way. And these teams are teaching them the hard way how BAL works. So it's a sad thing. If you watch these games live, you will cringe. I mean, I was literally watching this, and I was just, it was just a head scratcher. At some point, you ask yourself, do these players even understand how to play basic basketball? Because basic basketball concepts, basic execution, zero output was being exhibited. And it is sad, man. It is sad, and it's absolutely pathetic. It's unacceptable. And from this tournament, people are going to look at the Thunder differently, because if the Thunder fail in BAL, what is the point of trying to go back to BAL and you're failed like that? Because look at it. The only guarantees that the Thunder have is making the KBF playoffs and making it to the finals with their quote-unquote padded, unbeaten record, where they have been beating tomato cans. They've been beating tomato cans in Kenyan basketball, then they think they're the best. So even if they make it to Road to BAL and they go ahead and steamroll in Road to BAL, what guarantees do they have that they're going to make it to BAL season 6, even if it happens? Because BAL season 5 is just, it's going to be history if they continue playing this poor. I mean, there's no time to be able to fix up how they play. So they better make sure to go ahead and play adequately and play in a way that they can be able to win, as opposed to playing poorly. And it's something that is evident, and it's hurting the team all around. So it is what it is. So do drop me your comments down in the comment section down below. I mean, I'm very disappointed by the Thunder. The Thunder have shown that they lack any ability to play basketball at top flight. And they are now the official doormat for the Nile Conference. And they are placed at 4th, the doormat for the Nile Conference. And there's a lot of questions that the coaching staff, the technical bench, the Thunder's front office have to ask themselves moving forward, because this is totally unacceptable. Totally unacceptable. And it should not be encouraged. I'm seeing a lot of people ignoring yesterday's win, and they're saying, yesterday was a bad day at the office. So what excuses do you have now? What are the excuses now? So the Thunder have lost back-to-back straight. They have lost. They lost yesterday brutally. They lost today brutally. 20-plus point blowouts. Then, what is the excuse now? What are the excuses that the Thunder diehard fans are going to drop today? Because you cannot excuse these performances. You can't say bad day at the office again. You can't say that. That's going to be a lie. Take the loss and move on. Try to see if you can be able to get better for MBB. And as we speak, MBB are putting some serious work on APR. And it's something that the Thunder couldn't be able to do. So even that MBB game, there are no guarantees. And the sad thing is, we're going to play these teams again in the second leg. So do the Thunder even understand this? Or or their basketball IQ checked out, it's offline? Because of late, you have seen they left their defense, left their offense, left their basketball IQ back here in Nairobi when they went to Rwanda. So you're seeing them look more or less like professional content creators other than professional basketball players. I mean, you can pick Uber drivers, cleaners, plumbers, and they'll still put up the same performance as the imports here. So it's very pathetic. So indeed, it is what it is. So like, share, subscribe to the channel. I'm going to see you guys in the next one. Peace out.